Yeah.
Yeah, I like the automatic shut off. I think that's one of the best thoughts that you presented so far.
Yeah.
Was that to have it sense and shut off. I think that's a lifesaver there.
The movie should include also the manual.
The manual would be just to reset in case it goes off, for a second or two.
Yeah.
But you should,
And the manual switch just shuts off either power to the electric stove or like cuts off gas
Yeah.
from the gas line.
We were also
Or-
thinking that it would release the fire
Release
sewer
the-
Okay.
chemical. So we could obviously have it do any of all three of those. So actually, could you talk a little about like what you would like the manual switch to be able to do?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of releasing your chemical. Otherwise, instead of pushing this extra button, you might as well just turn off your stove, whether it's a switch or unplug it, even if you need to, if it's an electrical one. But sorry.
okay, no.
Yeah, I really like that. That combination of cutting the power and deploying your fire suppressant, with one button. The placement of that though would be a little tricky because I don't know if that's the manual button you have drawn there, but if it's behind between you or the fire's between you and it, so it might need to go on the front of the stove or off to the side, on a counter.
So yeah, we're obviously thinking about having it a little remote. Having the customer be able to mount it almost anywhere. So I guess just random question: would you rather it be like a wireless remote switch or a wired switch?
The manual turning on switch. I'm looking at the switches separate from the fire extinguisher because you're more apt to let's say like you're boiling water for tea or something, you're more apt to take the teapot off and forget to shut the burner off and leave the house. And that stove is on, there's no fire, but it could catch a fire. It could cause a fire. I'd almost like to have an automatic shut-off switch that if this thing is on for so long, that it shuts off, and not necessarily be attached to setting off the fire suppression system, because I may not have a fire yet, and that to me, would be, or in instance that I happen to know of a kitchen fire that caught on because a cat walked across the stove and hit the buttons and turned it on, and then there was something on, caught on fire from the stove and then caught the house on fire. So, it's I like to have them almost like a, I like the idea if there's a fire, so maybe when the fire extinguisher goes off, the switch goes off rather than vice versa.